Today we're looking at the Gupta Empire of Ancient India. Hello, welcome to the Daily Bellringer World History. Please don't forget to subscribe and take a look at the questions down in the description. Also, don't forget to check out dailybellringer.com for more resources that go with many of the Bellringer videos. The Gupta Empire was one of the most important and successful empires in the history of India. It's often called the Golden Age of India because it was a time when art, science, math, and literature grew and developed in amazing ways. The Gupta Empire lasted from around 320 BC to 550 AD, and during this time India became one of the most advanced civilizations in the world. The Gupta Empire began with a man named Chandragupta I, who came to power around 320 AD. But be sure to note that this is not the same Chandragupta who started the Maurya Empire many centuries before. Chandragupta I expanded his power by marrying into an important family and creating alliances. He started the Gupta dynasty, and his descendants would continue to rule and build the empire. After Chandragupta I, his son Shramutragupta became ruler. Shramutragupta was a skilled warrior and expanded the empire even more. He was known for his great military strategies and leadership. Later rulers like Chandragupta II continued to grow the empire and made it stable and prosperous. The Gupta Empire was ruled by kings, but they also gave some independence to local leaders. This made governing such a large empire much easier. The Guptas were Hindu rulers, but they supported many religions, including Buddhism and Jainism. This tolerance helped the empire stay peaceful and united. The government encouraged trade, farming, and learning. Roads were built and maintained, and taxes were collected to keep the empire strong. The rulers of the Gupta Empire were not only powerful leaders, but also supporters of culture and education. The Gupta Empire's legacy of cultural and academic achievements still resonates today. This is why it's called the Golden Age of Ancient India. Indian scholars during the Gupta period made important discoveries. They discovered the concept of zero, which is now one of the most important ideas in all of mathematics. They also worked on decimals, complex algebra, and even the value of pi. These ideas spread later to the rest of the world. Doctors in the Gupta Empire learned how to perform surgery and treat illnesses. They wrote medical books that described hundreds of diseases and their cures. Physicians began using vaccinations during this time period, nearly 1,000 years before Europeans would adopt the practice. Astronomers studied the stars and planets and discovered that the Earth rotates on its axis and revolves around the sun. Gupta artists created beautiful paintings, sculptures, and carvings. Many of these works showed Hindu gods and goddesses, as well as scenes from daily life. Temples were built with detailed designs that influenced later Indian architecture. Many magnificent stupas, or Buddhist dome-shaped shrines, were constructed during this time. The Gupta period produced famous writers like Kalidas, who wrote plays and poems that are still admired today. Arguably his most famous work was the famous play Shakuntala, which told the story of a king who marries an orphan but then loses his memory and forgets his wife. Eventually he regains his memory and they are reunited. People in the Gupta Empire lived in villages and cities. Most people were farmers growing crops like rice, wheat, and sugarcane. Others worked as merchants, craftspeople, or traders. Trade was very important, and India traded goods like spices, cotton, and precious stones with other countries such as China and the Roman Empire. Society was divided into different groups called caste, and people often followed the traditions and duties of their caste. Hinduism was the main religion, but Buddhism and Jainism were also respected. The Gupta Empire reached its peak at about the same time as the Roman Empire in Europe was collapsing. Shortly after, around 500 AD, the Gupta Empire began to weaken. One of the main reasons was the invasion of the Huns, a group of warriors from Central Asia. These invasions weakened the empire's control and caused many smaller kingdoms to break away. By 500 AD, the Gupta Empire had collapsed. The reign of the Gupta Empire was a time of peace, learning, and creativity. It stands out as one of the most successful and influential periods in ancient history, not just for India, but for the world. So with that, hopefully you learned something, and thanks for watching.